On Panthers TV, in association with Jeremias Chimney Systems, I'm joined by Defenceman Josh Tetlow. Josh, you've got your GB gear on. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first of all, you're back with the Panthers for another season, returning home after a season away. How do you feel?
Yeah, very excited, and yeah, looking forward to it. It's a really good opportunity for me personally to kind of be back home is massive, and also where I kind of got my break playing. Hopefully, I can bring something a little bit different now after I've kind of been away and developed in my mind, which is what I wanted to do. So yeah, I'm really excited to come back, and like I say, hopefully I can bring a little bit more and some more elements and things that I've added to my game, on and off the ice.
Well, that's interesting because you've been away for a year in a different league. Do you think it's developed you as a player?
It has. It's great to kind of see different things and be experienced in like different styles of the way the game's played. It forces you to be better. It forces you to adapt, and that is good. It's difficult. It was extremely difficult. It was a hard league, different to the things that I'm used to, the style of play in the elite league. So adapting to it was difficult, but I think that's part of the whole thing, and I think it makes you grow. And personally, as you're like off the ice and stuff, that it's definitely helped me develop more like a sense of resiliency and things like that, which I think that are very important qualities to have, and on the ice as well. So yeah.
As you mentioned in your first answer, you effectively got your first big chance at Nottingham. I know you came through the system at Bracknell, but your first real elite league chance with the Panthers was here in Nottingham. Did you really see this as your home now?
Yeah, I think I don't know anything really different in terms of the elite league. So I love the city. It's an easy kind of decision to come back. So I do kind of see it as home. I live here in the summer and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of have a special place in my heart for Nottingham. So yeah.
And this is going to sound odd because you're only 25, Josh, but do you feel yourself kind of experienced in the sense that you know Nottingham and you know what the club is all about, so you can use that experience to the newcomers?
Yeah, I would hope so. Like you say, I'm 25. I don't know. In hockey, am I getting on a bit? Maybe I don't know. But we're speaking with Omar and coming back. That was one of the things that we discussed is kind of the intangible aspects that I could possibly bring in terms of leadership qualities and things like that. So hopefully, you know, yeah, even like you say, just knowing the city and things like that, you can show guys around when they get here, or and make them feel welcome. Which as I now know, going abroad, it is very important to feel welcome and to feel a sense of home away from home very quickly, because it does help you settle in, and it all translates onto the ice. So yeah, hopefully I can kind of assist in that in any way. So yeah.
Just finally, before we finish, we can't not talk about Great Britain.
Yeah.
That feeling going back to Friday night, you have a chance, I guess, now to reflect on it. But
Mm.
there's so many aspects to it. Back to the top flight, home ice, front of 6,000 fans. Just put into words, if you can, what that experience was like on Friday.
It's difficult too, Chris. I mean, you were there, weren't you? So I mean, it's just a completely surreal experience, out of body almost. I was saying to you just before we got on, it's the highlight of my career. Maybe my life. It's amazing, and to do it at home in front of all those fans, and my family was there. Not all of them, unfortunately, but it was incredible. It was just absolutely incredible to even have played, a very small part in that is, one of the biggest honors of my career. So yeah, I'm still kind of coming down off of it, but it's it's still hard to kind of believe. But we Pete and the coaches set a very clear goal, and we knew what our goal was going there, which actually is a very different experience to my first 2 years, which were in the top division. But there, the goal from the outset is very different to being expected to win every game, and that's great. A great different kind of pressure that you have on yourself personally and as a team. So it's great to play in those different situations. And like you say, like we prevailed, did more than prevail. So yeah, it was, amazing. I can't really put it into words. So yeah.
Well, you make a good point. Just before we finish, you talk about that point about pressure. GB got promoted in 2017 in Belfast, and in 2018 in the second tier, that there wasn't much pressure because the expectation was just consolidate. GB went up and then spent 3 years in the top division before dropping down. So as you mentioned there, this was probably the first year for a while there was pressure on the GB team to achieve something. But the team showed that they could respond to that. There was key moments. There was a poor period against Romania, and then the guys, you turned it on. The game against Poland, where you conceded really late after scoring late, but found a way to win in overtime. The fact that Italy pegged you back 4 times, and you still won the game. 3 times actually, wasn't it? 5-3. But my point still stands. You found a way to cope with those pressure moments, and that's key to a successful side.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's testament to the group that we had. Young guys coming through and stepping into those roles, and the experience of older guys like Jonna and Dowdy, Mizey, and Davy Phillips. Like, it all kind of translates. And when you're there as a group, you can pull off of all of those different experiences. And I think it's, it was a perfect combination of youth and experience. And the new kind of, the new dual national guys who came in as well, they were absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, but like you said, it is completely different playing with that pressure, and that's part of hockey. It's great. Pete mentioned a point in the tournament. The pressure of winning is better than the pressure of playing for relegation. It's that's why you play. That's why you play, is to have those moments and to deal with that pressure. And the way it all played out, I think, was how it was meant to be. If we didn't have that little wobble against Poland, who knows if that would have, who knows if the resiliency would have not, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Basically, if that hadn't have happened, maybe we wouldn't have been resilient enough to win in the Italy game. I mean, who knows? You don't know, do you? But I think that, it's testament to the coaching staff and, what they instilled in us and the job that they did. So, yeah.